Welcome, Rawheads. This is Jesse and Mark with another episode of Raw and Roasted here on Spotify and YouTube. We're here with a very special guest today. Signed to Huncho Records back in 2020 to 2021, but we have amazing artist. I've been listening to his music all day. Mark consistently listens to his music. I'm just learning about him and stuff like that and getting to know his music and stuff, but I can tell you guys first thing, this man is good. All right, so please welcome Nevvaro.
What's going on?
And let me see if because it is a tiny bit
Yeah, if I need to max my gain or turn it up, like let me know. I'm on an SM7B and I have a focus right here, so I can kind of mess with things if you need me to.
if you can just turn up just a little bit.
All right, how's that?
That's better. All right, well, today I wanted to be prepared, so I wrote down a bunch of shit earlier today that I was thinking about when I was listening to your music, and also things that I had questions about. First thing I actually wanted to ask you about, because Mark mentioned it like earlier when we were talking about it. Where does the name Nevvaro come from? Like, how did you come up with that?
So it's actually a funny story. When I first came up with that name or was looking to come up with a name, I wanted to be an EDM producer and make like electronic music and have a DJ set and all that shit. So I did the same thing and went to Instagram and just tried like 40 fucking names to see which one wasn't taken, which was creative. And it was like between Nevvaro and like Highland music or some shit. And I was just like, Nevvaro's free and clear and it's unique. So I went with it.
Nice. I mean, yeah, I mean, if it's simple and, nobody has it, why not? And plus, I mean, I don't know, it somewhat has a ring to it, right, Mark?
It's catchy. You made the right choice on that one, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Highland music would have been lame.
Yeah, for sure. Yours is nice, simple, sweet, comes off the tongue easy.
I think the last time I remember, like back in the day, you remember like those rap name generators? You ever do one of those back in the day, Mark?
Never.
I know.
I think mine was like something. I think it was like the mailman or something like that because of my last name or something like that.
Because he delivers.
Yeah, or some shit like that.
He
I was
never
like, wow.
misses. Oh, this man's more reliable than the post office.
Shit, that would have been hard, low key.
Yo, actually though.
Well, I now I use it every time I play 2K now when they have like the nicknames or whatever, because my names, they can't say it on there, even though it's one of the most common. No, it's not common, I guess. Jesse's not common, but you would think it's more common than, I don't know, like having Ezekiel on. No, that's a biblical name. That's bad. Yeah, bad thing. But you would think Jesse would be on there for like Jesse James, some other Jessies, some out there. I don't know. Some other famous ones.
It's like one of those ambidextrous names. There's like a lot of women named Jessie as well.
Sure.
Yeah, heard that a lot growing up. Because my last name is males, so it was perfect for people to say Jessica females a lot. Yeah, I had to deal with that a lot.
Isn't it fun?
But yeah. So when did you start getting into music, Nevvaro?
I think I first got into music like 2011 when I was like 11 years old.
Okay, who was was there like a song or artist that like pushed you into like doing it instead of just listening?
I mean, I've always been into music, but what really lit that spark, which is really funny, was like Chief Keef's Don't Like, and I just wanted to make beats. I heard that shit and I was like, yo, Young Chop is fire. Like, I just want to make beats, and that's when I got into it.
How old is Chief Keef? He's one of those people that like I can never tell. He could be 18, he could be 40.
I think he's in his early or mid 30s. Can someone fact check that?
Yeah.
I'm already on it, boss.
Okay. Yeah. Fact checker over there.
He's not even old at all. He's 29.
That's what I was saying, dude. When he came out with all that shit, when he like was popping, he was only like 17 or like 16.
Yeah,
dude was young as hell.
This man was born in like 95, dog.
He pulled
I thought he was older for some reason.
Because Lil Wayne back in the day started when he was like fucking 11 or 10 or something like that.
He was hella young.
But I mean, Lil Wayne's a different fucking breed. Dude, second. I swear.
There's some heavy traffic going on today. Goddamn.
Seriously.
That's how I fix that shit.
It's these fucking motorcycles. You want to know what? It's time for a grind my gears. You know what really fucking grinds my goddamn gears? Is motorcycles.
Is it those fucking bikers?
It's those goddamn bikers, okay? Because I live next to two fucking bars that are within like 20 feet of each other. And so, constantly throughout the summer, you'll hear people revving their engines and shit like that, especially when the Nationals come and then they have the other sports cars up here and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking annoying. And then every time I'm inside and I hear someone roar their engine and they drive away, you can even ask my wife. Every time I say out loud, I hope you fall, because that's what you deserve.
That's
Dude, I don't care. You deserve that. But all right, out of the grind my gears thing, back to the music. So what? So with Huncho Records, like, how the hell did that, like, what was the first step, and then like what happened? Like, how was it, like, pretty much like all of a sudden you're here and then you're kind of dealing with all this stuff all at once?
It was one of those cliche situations where I just got thrown into something. I took an opportunity, didn't really know what the fuck it was, what was going on, what it entailed. And I didn't know much about the music business or the industry in general. And I kind of went into that expecting a lot of things to be a certain way, and it just wasn't. So I remember I was like working at Walgreens like 2019. My cousin hits me up because I was like dropping music on SoundCloud. I was like finally getting into it, starting to build a really small fan base, like really small. And my cousin's like, yo, I have a cousin who knows like Quavo, like he makes paintings for him and shit like that, who ended up becoming my manager. And then he heard my music, he pitched it to Quavo, and then Quavo showed like, I think he showed like, what was it, like Takeoff, and then he showed like one of his managers, and they were like, yeah, he's cool. And then we ended up just driving down to Atlanta. I just left my job. I didn't even like quit or like give him a notice. I just left. It's fucking Walgreens, though. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, no, that's a revolving door. But so when you got to Atlanta, like, what was, like, because did you just were you planning on coming back, or were you just going there and then pretty much planning to like make a setup there?
Bro, I just sent it, bro. I had no idea what was gonna happen. I was just like, bro, fuck it. I'm like 19, or was I 20 at the time? I don't even remember. But like, I was just like, fuck it.
Well, hell yeah,
packed all my shit, left my mom's house. I was like already having issues with my mom in general because she didn't like the music I'd listened to and the music I was making, because obviously like I was talking about like depressing shit, and like she really hated fucking like rock music. She hated Juice WRLD especially, dude. She could not stand that kid. Like,
and there used to be, I think, like a big like famous TikToker that was in like the military that would show his MREs or whatever, and like do like a meal day, or like basically like a cooking session or whatever, but with his MREs. And like compared to what those MREs look like, compared to like if you look at like the 1960s, 70s, like an MRE, which like I've seen before, it's just so much different.
Do you watch those videos on TikTok where they're opening up like old ass MREs and shit, and they're like fucking, they do like the taste tests and shit, dude? That shit, I don't know, that interests the hell out of me.
Dude, they had a tin that had like 100 cigarettes in it, and I'm like, bro, dude, like
the cigarette tins or the biscuit tins that like are still fucking fresh, dog.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they just opened it and they looked brand new. I was like, that shows something wrong. I mean, you see the McDonald's cheeseburger in that one museum or whatever, still breathing.
Fucking looks brand new, dog. Like you just got it off the shelf.
But yeah,
there's a lot of weird shit with that too. I remember my brother's dad. He's a veteran. He was telling me like back in the day when you were joining, they had like that period where you would get stuffed and they would stuff you with food, and then you would go like starve basically for like, I don't know what it was, like a week or some shit, part of training.
Jeez.
And he told me like, he was like, they actually put something in the food, like on that feast that they have everyone take before they go off and starve. Like they were putting something in the food that was like altering your brain, but it was also like making you physically stronger and shit like that. I don't know what he said it was. I can't remember.
Some goddamn Captain America's running around here in Star Spangled Panties, dog. That's crazy.
No, it wasn't. He didn't say meth. It was something. It was like something specific that I've never heard anyone talk about.
Well, I mean, you think about the Nazis. Nazis were fucking hyped up on methamphetamines and shit like that.
Historically, that's true.
Makes sense. Definitely
they did all kinds of crazy shit, dog. Imagine you're in a motherfucking trench, dog. You're 18, dog, fresh off the fucking rip. You're just out there, and then this messed up motherfucking Nazi comes charging at you, dog. Like, that's terrifying. I ain't even.
You shoot him, he's still running at you.
Yeah, dog. You popped him in the head about 3 times. He's still coming at you full force. Dog, I don't even know what to do. I'd probably just pack my shit. I go, I guess this is it for me. I
Imagine
don't
how
got the
many
answer.
imagine how many awkward confrontations between soldiers and like people that they were just friends with like the previous day where they come to their house, they're just like, yeah, so you gotta come with me. It might not be nice, but you get a ride there. You know?
Fucking wild.
Oh.
So you have dabbled in a lot of different genres and a lot of different music. We've known each other for a bit, and I've always kind of followed you. What made you want to kind of experiment with different genres and see kind of what kind of music you like to make the most, or experiment with?
Well, I always knew I would like experiment with pretty much everything because I made a vow to myself when I was younger that I wanted to be one of the greatest musicians of all time, objectively. I'll never literally be that because everyone has their own opinions and taste.
For
But
sure.
I wanted to be that person where, like, if you went to that guy, you know he could make every single genre and it would be objectively good.
Okay.
Do you think it also sets you apart from like other artists that kind of fall into a type? Kind of like how actors, when they do a certain type of role, like action movies, if that's all you do for a long time, that's what you get known for. Do you think that
Yeah.
it kind of separates you from people that fall into a category?
Absolutely. And actually that leads into like my whole label thing as well, is like when I went out into doing all that, obviously I was doing mainly hip hop and rap stuff. That wasn't a part of my plan. I didn't want to do mainly hip hop and rap, but the people that I was around, including my managers and the label people, they wanted me to do that. And then obviously the other people that were on the label were like rappers and hood niggas, like who just wanted to fucking spit bars, which is cool. And I was cool with that
For sure.
until I was not, and I was bored of it. And I'm like, well, I'm like losing interest in this. Like, this isn't where I want to be, what I want to do, or how I see my career going.
Doesn't align
I'm
with your
interested,
own morals and goals.
yeah, at all. I'm like interested in doing so much more, but now I'm kind of limited to a box. And like, I've grown this fan base that are hip hop heads, and they don't give a fuck about rock music. They don't give a fuck about like electronic music. So like now I'm like, fuck, I have to appease like the
Every
small
crowd,
fan base
kinda.
I've just gained, and like it kind of sucked. And this is before like everyone was kind of crossing over to doing like more real alternative type rock stuff, MGK and fucking Trippy and like all these other rappers who are now doing rock music and acoustic shit. It's like I was already doing that or trying to do that, but I didn't have any support with anything like that because no one was fucking with that. So, but the funny thing that really kind of pushed me into that thing, into like doing more rock music and focusing more on the craft as well, was when I first went to Atlanta and signed with Huncho Records. I met up with Danny Zook. If you guys look up Danny Zook, that's like Zook the Alien or something like that. He's like, I don't know if he's still managing for the Migos, but he's been a manager for like a lot of fucking artists. And then there was that one guy who I fucking forgot about that. I don't know if Devin told you the story, but he paid for a feature with this one rapper and the dude like never delivered. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mark?
I don't. I remember a conversation with him, but I don't remember the details.
Yeah,
But I knew that he had something going on. But he's a mutual friend of ours. It's actually how we ended up knowing each other, was actually through him.
Does Devin make music too?
He does.
Okay.
But he also does a little bit of everything.
He's dabbling and everything, but he's actually the one who actually got me to use the microphone for the first time. Like I said before, I was just making beats and electronic music and complextro and trap and hip hop and fucking dubstep. Like, he's the one who was just like, dude, you should like try rapping. Like, you should try it. And I was just like, all right. And then it just went from there.
Big problem with like artists that are like certain artists that have like switched genres, or not switched genres, but like have dabbled in other genres and stuff like that. Like, for instance, I'm calling out Taylor Swift. I hate Taylor Swift to a core because, well, two things. Honestly, I've never been that big of a Taylor Swift fan, but I will say this: her music in the very beginning of her career has a very different message and different storyline and just whole different feel to it compared to what she's doing now, to appeal more and more of I guess, I want to say,
be careful with
a
how you say
majority
this.
crowd.
Like,
yeah, dude, you're gonna get the
like basic people.
You're gonna piss
like,
off the Swifties
I
right
was
now.
gonna say,
like-
goddamn, we're just getting the podcast off the ground.
Well,
and
no,
you're gonna
I
piss
mean,
off the
like,
Swifties. You can't do that yet. We ain't got it like that.
because like I don't like, and then they made the whole big deal with her at the football games and stuff like that. And then like ESPN, you couldn't watch ESPN without hearing the word Taylor Swift and shit like that.
Dog,
But
I
the
have
whole thing
Taylor
about her
Swift
music,
coloring books at work right now.
I know, I've seen them. But the whole thing with her, like the music and switching stuff, is that when certain artists switch their genre or try and like do another genre song, it just doesn't. They don't have the same feel, or like even their lyrics don't have the same feel as what they were before and stuff like that. I mean, predominantly throughout all your music that I've heard, even though some is much different compared to the others and stuff like that, you still get the same vibe of the same person, if that makes sense, which is a lot different than a lot of other artists.
Well, that's the difference. Is all of my music is all my own music, and I write all my own music if I write it at all, and I don't freestyle it. Things with like big artists like Taylor Swift, they start out where they're making their own jingles and playing acoustic, and then they go to having writers, and now it's just like
Turns
the
into
writers
like an
are
industry.
so good. The industry writers are so good. They know exactly what's trending, how to target the audience, what to say, what buzzwords do they know. They got analytics. You feel me? So
Yeah.
that's why you get that disconnect where if you're an OG, you're like, man, this shit is not like how it used to be, you know?
Jesse, I feel like you could probably me and you could probably relate to it more of like it kind of works how like a small local business versus like a giant corporation. Like shit changes once you hit that level. And it's like I feel like it's a lot of like things getting done for you where you're not really driving the car, you're more like riding it.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, because
Instead of an artist, you almost become like a product.
And if you're at a Taylor Swift level too, like you're that big, now you're at the point where you start getting into those like conspiracies where people are like trying to get you to spread certain messages to the youth.
Is
try to get you to
Taylor
start.
Swift an industry plant?
She's not an industry plant. I'll say that. She's not an industry plant, but she's at a level where she's so big that she probably does, knowingly or unknowingly, probably promote something to her demographic. 100%.
Without a doubt. You got to at that point. Like
they're not gonna let you just go out there and talk about like whatever the fuck you want to say to like billions of people. Billions? Like you represent America now. You're like America's sweetheart. They're not gonna let you just say anything.
It's kind of like Scientology, you know. With Scientology, you gotta be careful of what you say in the media and stuff like that, or they pull your career and shit. Same thing with her, where she gotta be careful what she says, or her huge jump in. I'm not gonna say fame. Her huge jump in just a way wider range of fan base or whatever, which I'm just including all NFL watchers and stuff like that. Because
and even on a smaller base, like she can't fucking say things and ruin brand deals. Like she can't say things and ruin things for like her team and like everything. There's just so much writing on it where she's just like, dude, at this point, I'm not even gonna write my lyrics because what if I do talk about something personal in my life and people don't take it well? What if I get canceled? Like that's always a real problem to worry about.
Especially now, dude. People get canceled left and right for the dumbest things.
Yeah,
it's
you think Taylor Swift is immune to getting canceled? No, if she
says
one thing wrong, they will come for her fucking neck.
One minor fuck up. Done. She turns from one of the biggest stars to one of the biggest fucking.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I for someone, especially just as of right now, I think it would have to be something pretty, not like heinous, but it'd have to be something pretty big, or not something big, but something that would upset a lot of people very fast.
Let them catch her saying the N-word.
That is exactly where I was going with it. He read my mind. That's what I was saying. I was like, it would have to be something like that, or like she's voting for Trump, or like something like that, where like people are just like, oh my god, no.
Going back to them country roots, dog.
Hey, you never know. Didn't Zach Bryan come out saying that? But that's his demographic, so it didn't matter.
Well, that, and then they also had, the media tried to manipulate it, but they tried to manipulate Joe Rogan's like podcast, or like a clip from his podcast saying that he was endorsing Robert F. Kennedy or whatever when like he wasn't, and shit like that. So like that's another thing. You got to be careful of how you also phrase things when you're big, because people, especially with AI now, shit's possible.
Speaking of AI, fucking possible. Have you ever what are your thoughts on AI in the music industry and like being able to deep fake voices with it? And essentially, I mean, you can use AI to, I could hop on AI, throw in a couple samples of your songs, and I could have a whole song with your voice over it. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I haven't dabbled in like the musical side of AI, but I have done like certain works and videos with like the voicing and stuff like that. Like I did a small YouTube video using like the cyberpunk main character girl's voice, and just like I wrote a whole script for it, and dude, it is so fucking good. And I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna fuck over a lot of people.
It's
Like
scary.
a lot. It's so clean. It's so perfect. And we're
They
just
show-
getting started. We're just getting started.
It's
But
true.
I mean,
It's the tip of the iceberg.
It's funny we're talking about AI. I actually have a story written down right here that I read in the news. So, a Baltimore area teacher was accused of using AI to make her boss appear racist.
But shit like that, though, that's what you gotta worry about. Like, genuinely, think about it. Goes back, not to bring her
Think
up.
about that. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I should ask it about pranks and shit. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, and that's harmless shit. But think about, like, you're an influential figure. You're a president or somebody running for president. Dude, you gotta worry about people deep faking you and making you say shit that you didn't say. Like,
yeah.
I think there's a
could be so
bigger problem with
detrimental.
that. I think it's the opposite. It's the fact that now you have plausible deniability with everything. So
That's
now no
true,
matter
too.
what you say,
that
even
is a
if you
good
That's
are a
a-
point.
racist bastard or you say some really heinous shit, you're like, no, that's AI. That's fake.
Yeah,
I didn't really say
that's
that.
true, too.
Unless they
I
have
mean,
like actual proof of you on, even if they have you on video, they could be like, well, that's
yeah, anything
It's-
can be edited, and it's so clean now that it's genuinely hard to tell the difference.
What can
But
you
that's a
prove?
unique take. That's
It's
true.
tainting the pool of truth, basically, where like nobody
Yep.
will know what's up and down and shit. That I don't think that's the first time that I've ever heard someone describe it like that. To be honest,
no,
that's
that's
a good
really
Like,
point.
what's in the news? And I'm
That's
just
really
like,
good.
dude, how much of this news right now is like AI?
Legit.
Like, how much of this shit? Because I mean,
I-
they've been doing it forever.
I've stopped
gets
watching. I
conspiracy.
think the last time I watched the news was like in high school, but that was for like current events and shit. Like
Mhm.
I stay away from it now just because like so much shit is just manipulated and stuff like that for all views and
Well-
and polls and shit like that, especially for like CNN and like these higher ups like ABC and shit.
100%.
The other thing you got to worry about too is like so much of the news and so much of like the news used to be the one place you could look to figure out what the fuck's going on in the world. But now everything is like literally America is just a big giant like corporation. Everything is controlled by money,
It's a
media.
propaganda machine.
That's what it is. And that's all the news is now too. It's whoever's going to pay me the most is the story I'm going to tell.
Yeah.
That's why, like, anytime my wife brings up like a story about somebody that I like, because she loves to do that, especially if they get canceled. She loves to do that. So I'll be like, okay, like I won't believe it 100% because I'm just like, there's so many fake
It's
rumors
hard
that like
to-
get thrown through and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
it's hard to tell what's true and what's not true and
Bro,
stuff
you can
like
go to
that.
these people, pay these networks like 10 million, just be like, bro, promote this message subliminally, just add it into whatever, or spin this news story. Like, again, let's go back to Taylor Swift. Like, let's say she does say something foul out of for whatever reason, who knows? They could go to that network, whoever's going to report on it, the bloggers, everything, and just be like, look, here's an X amount
Change
of
the
money.
whole narrative.
We know she got caught saying this, but literally, yeah, change the narrative. Say it was, make it lighthearted. Say it's because she's going through this, and like just start promoting and pushing like she's going
Or
through
do the
surgery.
classic
She
drug
just
problems.
yeah, she got Crohn's disease. She got this. Like she's going through so much. They'll flood the market so she'll get sympathy, so that people will either not pay attention to the rest of that shit or not give a fuck and feel less bad, so she won't get canceled that much. And you know, it's funny
And
too.
when
If
you're
you
that
go,
big too, like it's got to be so easy.
it is. If you want to know, like, if you want to see visually what I'm talking about, go watch The Boys. Everything that they're talking about in that show
Dude,
is literally what they do in real
The
life.
Boys is.
Everything.
I've been telling Mark to watch The Boys, man. It's so fucking good.
No,
You haven't
I know,
seen The
I'm
Boys?
lacking. I'm like,
Oh
nah,
my
dog, I'm lacking.
god,
I'm
bro!
lacking.
It
He
is
hasn't
the
seen that.
embodiment of America, bro. It is. It just shows you everything.
I love
It's-
politics and I love superheroes, so I mean, it's really up my alley. I really don't know why I haven't watched it yet. Truthfully, I just don't think I've moved
And
the time.
most people, even in Hollywood, will say this about Anthony Starr playing Homelander. One, he's never gonna get a role again. That he's gonna be known as Homelander forever. Like that's gonna be
stick,
his
yeah.
role.
Typecast.
And second is that there could be nobody else that could do the shit that he like, especially with that character. Like the amount of like scarring personally that it would do to somebody. Like, I mean, the stories that like the guest people that like go on that show have told of like the behind the scenes shit, like especially for the episode Nevvaro knows what I'm talking about, Hero Gasm. Like the amount of like stories I heard of that, of just like And that was an all day shoot. So like nonstop, that party was going of like weird shit and stuff like that. So there was so much shit that didn't get shown, and it's just like the creators of that show have done such a good job of pushing it to the absolute fucking pinnacle of like not being okay.
100%.
And it's great that they're able to do that on streaming now, especially with like Netflix and Prime Video. It's gotten a lot more surreal with stories and stuff like that, with how they're able to tell it, and like the severity of how they're able to go with characters and shit.
I think that's why it's as far as it was too, because you got to realize like The Boys has been out for a very, very long time, and I feel like they were kind of stagnant for a little while, and then they really started to pick up.
I will say this: when did you start in the first season? So I started towards the end of the second season, so I kind of get that. Yeah, like one thing you want to know what it was is they didn't do great promotion to begin with, starting before that show. Like Invincible, like for instance, another Prime Video original like that, they did a whole like better job of advertising and letting people know about that. So like I knew that was coming because they had the whole thing about what's his face from Walking Dead playing the main character or voicing the main character. But they didn't really do that with The Boys. But that's also because, to be honest, there wasn't like a superstar.
They didn't have a star.
Yeah, that's the thing. But now that
they
they're
have
all together,
Anthony Starr.
yeah, now they're all stars now, and fucking especially what's his face, Dennis Quaid's son. Forgot what his name is. Something Quaid. He now that he got that, he's done a bunch of voiceovers previously, but now after this, he's getting more and more shit and stuff like that, especially with other people.
And shout out to Anthony Starr, dude. He is such a great fucking actor. Like, you can say his role's easy or whatever. But like, dude, he's so memeable. His faces are so real. Like, you see the memes on Instagram all the time, and it's like, yeah, bro. Like, low key, no matter whether you like his character or not, you understand his like disposition too. You can kind of feel him. Like, it's so good.
So I don't know if you guys saw recently, but that's so. Actually, it brings us back to the point of like canceling and stuff like that. My wife brought up the other day that Anthony Starr was getting canceled for something, and I was like, what? And he like was commenting like racist comments or some shit, or like he was liking and laughing at like racist comments or something on some post or whatever. And then like somebody screenshotted it and then like posted it, and then he either like closed his account or like temporarily like took it off or whatever. I don't know how true that is. So that's actually, you want to know, let's find out. Anthony Starr scandal.
I definitely believe it, but I mean,
I hope not, because the last thing that they need to do is take away the goddamn superstar of my fucking favorite show. Okay, I'm sorry,
but have to watch
I just hope he doesn't fuck himself up. Like, just don't fuck up. Like, I get you're a human, you have a life, but don't be a dumbass. Don't fuck yourself up, bro. Please. People fuck with you. You're a superstar. You're a white man right now. Like, that's already probably very tough in Hollywood because everybody's already looking at you to try to cancel you and they hate you. Just be clean. Be like fucking Keanu Reeves. Be like fucking what's his name?
Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, be like those guys. They're squeaky clean. I'm sure they're not fucking perfect humans, but they're keeping it clean. Just follow their steps.
Okay.
Speaking of which, have you seen the new Deadpool?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, let's talk about that first before I get to this. Because I finally watched the Deadpool.
Did you?
Because they finally, I found one website where their link was actually an HD version. Surprisingly, I was very surprised.
You just pay $7 to go to the theaters.
I'm thinking he went to the movie.
I don't
like not on a link
because
bootlegging a $7 movie
that involves getting a babysitter for the kids. I don't. Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. So no, especially no. But
America's gonna do it to him anyway as well.
Ryan Reynolds did such a good job of that soundtrack just alone.
The opening scene, dog.
And I thought about this afterwards too, and I thought it was really funny because I was like, if you think about it, I was like, Ryan Reynolds technically was only like actually working in that film for like maybe 10 minutes. The rest of it is his double that's wearing the mask and doing all the stunt shit.
I think I actually don't know. I don't know about that though, because I really think
you don't know. That's the thing.
Was he dancing that? Like, was he actually in there choreographing those dances? Like, was he in there?
No.
Hell no. He can't move like that. Bullshit.
He straight up came out and admitted, he goes, I can't dance. So there was genuinely like a stunt dude that knows how to dance. He was doing the like choreography. I don't even know if I said that right. He was doing all that shit. But I feel like the actual acting scenes though, it's got to be Ryan Reynolds because I feel like he's been dedicated to that franchise and that character,
especially
for
the
so
mannerisms and stuff like that of when he's talking. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sure like the fight scenes and shit, that's obvious. Obviously, that's got to be all stunt double. But the talking and like the story points, it's got to be all.
Well, maybe the end one with Nice Pool, maybe that one was him because he was just kind of holding him up.
Yeah, no mess.
With AI though, how the fuck do you know?
That's true, dude. Oh my god, that scene at the where right after where he's like I tasted his final thoughts. He was so scared. My god,
it was a good movie.
Dirty the whole.
I saw that
you've been seeing the Shield memes on Facebook where it's like Captain America's shield, Wonder Woman's shield, Deadpool's shield.
There was a couple deleted scenes that I saw that were taken out. One, Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny was in it as a variant or some kind of like TVA agent, but they took him out. And then two, not that I did see that part, but what's the I don't know his version of Deadpool's name, like Headpool? Is that what it is? Headpool, just the head. Headpool, yes, Headpool and Kidpool stayed in that universe and stayed with that Peter.
Did you know that? And I read this thing since we're on the topic. I kind of want to move up and get into some more music, but since we're on the topic, did you know that Kid Pool, Lady Pool, and Baby Pool were all played by Ryan Reynolds' actual wife and kids?
Wait, his kid was the Kid Pool? I knew the Lady Pool was her, but like I didn't know
baby Pool is actually his baby. Like,
wow, dude.
That's actually kind of fire, though. Imagine being able to get your whole family in a film where they're all playing a version of you.
Talk about the most epic fucking family video ever. Okay,
literally.
For memories, you can just watch Deadpool 3. That's insane.
Literally, it's fantastic. Nevvaro, what? So have you been seeing the trend where different like traditionally like hip hop artists are making like hip hop artists, punk artists, they're all making like even some heavy metal too, but they're all making like a transition into making country or country-esque music.
Yeah, it's they're just following the waves. Like they got teams behind them telling them to do it. Even if they don't have interest in doing it, like let's go to Quavo, like the fucking Lana Del Rey shit. Like I don't think he wanted to fucking do that. Like he just did it because someone probably told him to, or label fucking told him. Capitol Records. There's like small artists that I follow right now. They're like punk artists. Like they just like make punk music, and I'm seeing them do country, and I'm like, brother, you don't even talk like that. You're not even from the South. Why do you have a country accent? What's happening?
So is it safe to say that we're not gonna get a Nevvaro country album?
It's not safe to say that. It's not safe to say that.
Okay,
all right.
Because, brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did live in the South for a little. No,
oh,
I did. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in Louisiana for a little bit. I might pull it. No, I probably won't. But we'll see.
Now, if I remember,
you might see some acoustic music though.
Okay, hey, listen. As soon as you get that, if you're gonna be dabbling in some acoustic shit, you know I gotta hear it because I fuck with acoustic and I fuck with your music as it is.
It's coming. All right. It's coming.
Oh, okay.
So how many instruments do you play?
I play piano. I play guitar. I'm learning the drums. Shit, I played the recorder in like elementary school.
But, certified recorder, fucking master.
So out of the drums, guitar, and piano, which one's the hardest? You think was the hardest to learn right now?
The hardest for me was guitar. That was absolutely the hardest because I got to learn how to use my fingers again, and then it's not direct. Like piano was probably the easiest for me.
Yeah, I can feel that because that was the easiest one.
You can't really fuck that up. Like you just press a button. It's like it's a keyboard. It's literally a fucking keyboard.
And I feel like once you get the muscle memory of like what key makes what sound, then you can really just kind of have at it.
Yeah, you can start flying through it, bro. But with guitar, it's not like that. Guitar is like
there's tuning.
Even the way you touch the string is completely. You know, Mark, because you play guitar. The way you even touch the string matters. Like it's so much. The amount of pressure you put down matters. There's like pitch harmonics. Like there's so much going on.
So much.
Look at that. You guys both play guitar, and I play Guitar Hero.
I dabble.
Yeah, you're close, man. You're close.
Guitar Hero ruined it for me for guitar, because I was like, it's not this easy. I was like,
That's because you didn't
I wish it
graduate
was
to
this easy.
Rocksmith, bro.
I was like, I wish. But I
Go
remember
drop
back
out.
in the day, I did want to learn how to play the guitar, because every boy learned or is told at one point or finds this on a television show that all the ladies are infatuated with the guy with the guitar, so that you try and
Of
learn it
course.
at one point.
Well, I think too, like people that are around our age too, like they grew up with Guitar Hero, they grew up with Rock Band, and I feel like that had a giant kind of, especially if you're into like the gaming space, like you see a lot of the kids that used to play the games that, and then they want to do it for real. Like I feel like that had a pretty big influence on people, especially.
Did you guys ever play? I don't even know if you guys remember this, but DJ Hero.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
I didn't.
I had that shit.
Yeah, DJ Hero
didn't
was
hit
the
like
biggest
Guitar
piece
Hero
of
did,
garbage that they should have just. I don't know.
I don't know. I won't
It
say
went through
garbage.
so many channels where they should have been like, "This is just not going to work." Like, why are we doing this? It's like all these different random controllers that you see that have come out in the years and stuff like that. And you're like, how the hell?
It's definitely a flop, but I don't think it was that bad. I had a little bit of fun with it. It definitely didn't hit like Rock Band or Guitar Hero though. That shit.
Or how about
fucking,
No.
how about hear me out? Fortnite's Guitar Hero.
bro?
What y'all think about that?
Top tier.
Okay,
Top
so
tier.
I
Top tier.
will say this: I was busting that out when it first came out, and if you play any Metallica song on that on Expert, your fingers are gonna fucking hurt.
You were doing what when it first came out? Did you say you were busting it out?
Bussin'?
Yeah. Yes, I was
busting
busting it out.
guitar?
I was letting one rip.
Bussin'.
Anyway, I was playing it, and anytime you did Metallica, like I can't even think of a Metallica song off the top of my head. My brain's like mush right now. Well, they didn't have one. I would have loved them to have one, because I was on Guitar Hero 3 and I loved that fucking song. But or I think it was on 3, whatever.
It was Legends of Rock.
But no, they had like, I think the best song that they had on there was like, they had Tupac. They had some like changes by Tupac. So I loved playing that. But you saw like every week that more artists got added, because I guarantee Fortnite's like, hey, we'll pay you a certain sum if you just let us put your music on here.
Fortnite's, it's got to be dumb money what that game pulls in.
Bro, they make billions. They're making
Gotta
billions.
be. That's what I mean.
They can do whatever they want.
Dumb money. Whatever license they want, they got it, dog.
They had like Kid Leroy in the fucking game. I'm
Fuck
pretty
yeah.
sure they
Did
had Billy
you do
Eilish.
the Kid
Actually, yes,
Leroy
we had Billie
event?
Eilish. I got a fucking skin. Yep. The only gripe I have with that the little fucking Guitar Hero game that they have is they're not showing enough love to newer bands that are up and coming right now. Like it's still like, oh, we're promoting like the old school bands, the OGs. It's like, that's cool and all, but we need to move on and we need to start making new superstar bands. Like there are so many good bands out right now that they should be doing like multi-millions. They should be known around the world, but they're just not, because rock is still like not taboo. It's coming back, but it's just not enough. They need more.
It's not like it's not. It doesn't have the following that like hip hop or pop.
It's
or
not
even
mainstream, but it should be.
It should be,
because their shows. Even if you go to like a rock show, it's so much better than a fucking rap show. Like, have you ever seen like any of these rappers are so fucking boring? They're not doing shit.
Like speaking of Devin, like me and him went to an MGK concert when he was doing his mainstream sellout tour, and the vibes were absolutely immaculate there. Like fantastic show.
Yeah, I don't know how well his like concerts and tours are going right now, especially with like him doing like more of his like controversial, like not controversial, but more.
Even he's been doing country shit.
Well, I know, but I say 100% that the reason why these country songs are doing so well is heavily towards Jelly Roll. I think Jelly Roll had a big part in bringing country back to rap and stuff like that, and all these other things.
Look at his collabs in the past few months. So he had a collab with Falling in Reverse that was country-esque. The music video is literally like a Western scene. Like, then he's doing shit with MGK. Like, I even think
he did something with Eminem.
I feel like I'm missing one though, and it was I don't know, don't matter. But I mean, he attaches himself to all these artists, and it's absolutely crazy. It actually kind of reminds me of how Post Malone got big. Is he had all these big name artists, like DaBaby was big at the time.
Mm-hmm.
When DaBaby was big, look at the music Post Malone was making. DaBaby was attached to plenty of the songs. Like I can think of probably like at least 2 or 3, like right off the rip without even looking into it. Like, I feel like that's how a lot of artists are kind of spreading their fan base and like getting more music out there. It's just by attaching themselves to these different genres and different artists from them.
And actually, kind of like a side convo on that. Like, I think that's a good thing. Like, you
I
see
don't
a
think it's
lot
bad at all.
if you're in the like hip hop space. So many black people are like cultural appropriation shit. Like, you guys know about the Ian situation, right? The white boy who just came out who's like rapping and shit, and everyone's
I
just
don't.
like shitting on him. Lil Yachty
Yeah,
was like
you're
talking
talking
shit
about-
about him.
You're talking about the guy who, like, he's not even saying good lyrics and shit like that. Like, it's the people that are in the industry hate him, but people that aren't in the industry are like hyping him up and making him go viral and stuff like that. He's like redoing cover or like remixes of shit, right?
I'm not sure we're talking about the same person. I haven't looked too much into this kid. I just know the kid's name Ian. I think that's literally his rap name.
No, I think it's a good idea. Like me personally, I'm a big Falling in Reverse fan. That's like my type of shit. I would have actually had never listened to a single Jelly Roll song before that collaboration, and then I started listening to it, and then I listened to his one with MGK, like, and now I can say I've got at least 3 or 4 Jelly Roll songs in my playlist. Like, spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, and I say that to say, like, for all the like hip hop heads, right, that are hating.
No, my bad. I didn't. I was gonna say something about Ian. So I just looked him up and saw who he was. I mean, one of the big artists that he dealt with or that he's done a song with is like Lil Yachty. And to be honest, Lil Yachty has fell the fuck off like completely.
Lil Yachty song in a minute.
I've been hearing a lot of drama with him.
Well, it's because he's hanging with the streamers. He's hanging with the fucking retards. Like, no offense to them out there. Hey, you look in the dictionary, retard means dumb. I'm sick and tired for apologizing.
I already dropped retard. I already dropped it like once in here. It doesn't matter.
We're free
today.
All right. But
we're free today.
Anyway, yeah, like I forgot what I was fucking saying. Yeah, on to the next. But with Lil Yachty. Yeah, fuck Lil Yachty. He was good in the beginning, like a lot of artists were. Like I loved his Lil Bo album and everything like that. You know, Cold in Minnesota. You know, like I love those songs, you know? But now his like new shit, like I don't know like if he got a brain injury or like what happened to him, but like it's like his whole music like completely changed. Like even like his beats changed.
The thing with Lil Yachty, bro,
is like
he was gonna plateau no matter what. Like if we're being 100% honest, like I fucked with Lil Yachty, especially back in the SoundCloud days when he first came out. Lil Yachty is not a great musician. So at the end of the day, your music is going to take you so far. Like, you're not a heavy spitter. You can't rap that fucking well. Like, your music, you're not producing shit that's just, like, fucking insane. Like, you're mid at best. But you got a popular song, got on, people fuck with you, you had a good vibe, you were humble or whatever the fuck the situation may be. But you weren't, as a musician, you weren't that great. So how far are you really going to go?
Well, I feel like you have certain artists, right? You have certain people in the industry that are feature artists. Like their whole thing is features. Like that's where they fit best. Lil Yachty's one of those. They add something to a song that pushes it to the next level, and I think that's what Lil Yachty is. He's cast in this type of features and things like that, and they're great. I have no problem with his features.
He's an endorsement.
He's like
that's what he is. He's a fucking endorsement.
He's like Juicy J for Wiz Khalifa.
Pretty much.
Like Juicy J was never like he's never been, even though he was with 3 6 Mafia. Like he was never really a heavy spitter.
I wouldn't even go to say that because millennials love Juicy J.
Well, I mean, I love Juicy J too, but like that's just because I grew up on Wiz Khalifa and stuff like that. Like that was like my religion back when I was in high school. I mean, I barely listened to Wiz Khalifa. That's another person that kind of fell off. Wiz Khalifa's last couple.
All of our fucking religions. I feel like he retired in a way. I feel like he stopped caring about being in the spotlight.
Yeah, that, and then he started focusing more on like just his other hobbies like Muay Thai and like exercising and shit. Like he's now ripped. He's no longer a twig anymore and stuff like that. Plus, he's got his kid that's older now and stuff. He's probably like changing his shit. Same thing with like how MGK is switching it up.
Shit no more. He ain't gotta fucking be in all that rap scene shit no more and all that fake ass rap beat. Bro's like living his life. He's probably owned hella money in real estate. He's probably just chilling, bro, living his life. And that's kind of the goals. Get in, do what you gotta do, make some good investments, and get out. Like don't fucking stay there forever because there's no longevity. There is none.
J. Cole's a perfect example of that. He doesn't fuck with anybody, does his music very well, sticks with his family, sticks to a very tight knit of people around him, and that's it. Doesn't go out, doesn't fucking do parties and shit like that.
Which is good though, because like you can see J. Cole riding his bike in New York City. Like he's not striving to be number one, the top, the flashiest,
He
the
could give
best
a
in the world.
fuck
like
about that
he
shit.
don't care about all that
That's
shit.
how I
And
like
that's
to
how it
imagine
should
I'd
be.
be if I made if I like made a bag and I was big. Like I feel like that's how I'd just be mad humble. Like I feel like I wouldn't be really that much different to be. I say that, but I don't know. But I feel like
I mean, I'll go as far. Like for me personally, I'd go as far as I possibly can go, but I don't strive to be like
I just want to
the
live
number
comfortably.
one in the world. Like I don't want to be a Taylor Swift because I
ain't
lose
trying
my
to be
life.
Jeff Bezos, dog. I'm just trying
I'm
to
into
live
some
comfortably,
shit.
pay my
You feel
bills.
me? I'm into some crazy shit. If I'm ever that big, I'm fucked. Like I'm going to jail. I don't want to do that.
Like, you want the kind of fan base that the one. Okay, I shouldn't say that because like his fan base is mostly older cougar women, but like Young Gravy, for instance. Like, I don't know if you fuck
Another
with him at all.
motherfucking artist with a country
Yeah.
album that's coming out. God damn.
That ass?
Yeah, I heard about
Country
that.
Gravy, bro. I went to a Gravy concert. I got on the fucking big screen and everything.
That was at the fair, right?
It was at the fair, dog. I look mad goofy. I won't lie. We can attach a clip of that.
Dax came this year to the fair. I wanted to see him, but I didn't get a chance to. That's another independent artist that has been dabbling in other shit and did a song with what's his face? Oh, that one old black country singer. Not like it's not Kenny Rogers because he's white.
Darius Rucker?
Something. Yes, that I was gonna say Darius Rucker. Yeah, that's him. But let me ask you this, Nevvaro. So, did you grow? So you like punk music? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
I grew up on that.
So who was your favorite band growing up then for punk?
If I have to like be honest, it would be a fight between Motion City Soundtrack and Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World fucks. Not familiar.
What's their hit?
I'll let you think.
Yeah, continue.
Nevvaro, you said that you were out in Atlanta when you were doing your shit with Amigos. Did you stay out there or did you end up relocating?
Yeah, I lived in Atlanta for a little while. That was wild.
I bet.
I was like, there was so
Atlanta's-
much crazy shit going on in Atlanta that I can't even talk about on here. But like, that was like the first time I even like drove a car on the
Really?
streets because I didn't even have a license back then. Yeah, when I first moved out there,
How was
and
driving
I remember
in Atlanta?
like, brother,
Especially
have you ever
being
seen
new to the
Atlanta?
road.
Have you ever been like seen Atlanta?
I've only flew in for like a connecting flight. That's it.
Bro, Atlanta fucking streets. I don't know what it's like now, but back then it was like a fucking racetrack. It was wild.
Everybody's in
It
a
was
hurry.
fucking
Everybody's got shit to
wild.
do. And if I remember right, you are originally like from Chicago, correct?
Yeah.
And did you get like a big like?
yeah.
Obviously, you probably went to school out there like when you were younger and shit. Did you get like a big following when you were like when you go home? If you're ever in Chicago, like, do you have like a giant hometown following?
I wouldn't say it's giant, but I definitely do have like hometown people that fuck with me like all around Chicago. Like a lot of the kids I went to school with that know me through other people, like even from like real friends like the band, like there's people back home that fuck with me because they showed me around. Like yeah, I get a good amount of love when I go back home for sure.
That's what's up. Because I was seeing on I only asked because on a podcast recently, I don't know if you listened to the Suicide Boys.
No.
Well, they were on Theo Von's podcast this past weekend, and they were talking about how like when they they're from New Orleans, they're cousins. When they go back there, like hometown doesn't fuck with them at all, and I was just kind of curious how that was like from your side of things.
No one fucking hates me back home.
I could see
my
that.
exes probably do.
I can
My
see
exes
that about
probably
Suicide Boys though, just because their music is a very unique type of taste.
I fuck with Suicide Boys. I won't lie.
I like a couple of their songs. I don't fuck with them completely, but yeah,
it ain't for everybody though. But that's kind of the idea is that it ain't for everybody. It's for people that can fuck with it.
That's why you mentioned them earlier. But was it Rise Against Us or what the hell is it called?
Falling in Reverse.
Yeah, Falling in Reverse. When I first heard like their biggest like viral one, World Burns or whatever, it was like, this is a screamo band that I've been waiting for because I haven't seen a good one in a long time. The last one was, I don't even know. I know their biggest hit was Moment of Silence, the band I'm thinking of, but I can't remember. But there just hasn't been that many good bands in that genre in a long time, and now you're starting to see more and more after them and stuff like that.
Ronnie Radke, as controversial as he is, he's an absolute beast.
I mean, his music videos are mind blowing.
Watch the one for
I don't know who does his edits or does his videos, but holy shit.
You can just watch the one with his collab with Jelly Roll. Like, it looks like a goddamn movie. A fucking top tier production is wild. I did want to ask you a little more about Chicago, Nevvaro. What was it like? Kind of like, were you born there, or did you move there later?
Born and raised.
So what was it like, kind of growing up there? Because we're from upstate New York. You've been here, like there's a lot of bumfuck ass nowhere. Like, Chicago, I picture a big city, kind of like.
Chicago's a mixture of everything. I would say, like, recently leaving, 'cause I'm in Boston now, but like it's like a giant Mexico, not gonna lie. Like, bro, it's fucking wild there. But the city's beautiful. There are several different sides of the city that are all sectioned off, and like obviously there's different cultures and vibes everywhere, but it's the most freedom city in the entire country to me. Like, you can go to Chicago and just have a great fucking time, do whatever the fuck you want. No one's gonna bother you. Like, is it a little bit expensive? Yeah, but like, you have the freedom, so I feel like it's worth it. You might get robbed. I'm not gonna lie.
Isn't there?
I was gonna say, anytime I talk to anybody about Chicago, like, I hear that like you gotta be careful where you wander off. But I feel like it's kind of like that everywhere too.
It is, but like, Chicago's different, bro. Like, I swear to God, like I never leave my car door unlocked ever in my life. One day I left my car unlocked, I got robbed immediately. They took all my shit. One day. First time ever. I've never let, and I'm like, bro, are these people watching me? How are they checking doors all night?
Following me.
How the fuck you guys know this?
After hearing that, you're gonna think this is crazy. My wife thinks it's crazy because I never thought it was abnormal growing up in doing this, because like, I don't know, I just lived that way. But we never locked our doors. Like, that was just
I lived in the middle of bumfuck ass nowhere, cornfields, dog. What the fucking cow's gonna break in, dog? Like,
well, I mean, I live in like a more rural area, so I get her suspicion about it. But like, she says it's a white person thing. Or is it just a me thing?
It's just where you guys are from. It's just where you guys are from, for sure.
Like,
well, whatever.
We're in a low crime area where it's like, I don't.
Yeah, but now I guess in this day and age, now it's more applicable that I guess things can happen. I mean, for instance, did you hear about the whole thing with the state fair?
Oh. No, I didn't hear shit.
Oh, okay. So
Devin told me something about this.
This is gonna be a hot take. So
we went on the same day. We missed each other by like an hour. I was like, that's crazy.
So the same day that my parents went, what day was that? On Saturday? What day did they go to the fair? Monday? It was a Legend? Son of a bitch. Never mind. I knew nothing good happens. Apparently there was a rumor that there was like a suspicious person like walking around the fair or whatever, and then he was pulled over like close to the fair afterwards with like multiple AK weapons and like shotguns in his car or whatever.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but apparently it's a legend. Or not legend, it's fake.
I would imagine so. I was there the day you're talking about. Because
what part's true?
Wasn't there like a public shooting in Buffalo, New York, or some shit like 2 years ago?
That's where I'm living near now. I'm like an hour outside Buffalo.
So there was a person with weapons in their car, but I don't think he didn't go to the fair, but he was pulled out near the fair or something like that. But yeah, but like crazy shit like that, where like school or like shootings and stuff like that are becoming more frequent and stuff like that. Like in Chicago, like how is the crime rate there like compared to Syracuse? I mean, Syracuse is pretty high, but
I mean, the crime in Chicago is bad, but again, it's like a gigantic city with millions.
I was gonna say, you're talking like small city versus like literal big ass city, dog. Like, of course the crime rate's gonna be higher. There's more fucking people.
It's like New York City.
I always forget how small it is. Because I mean,
like, you think Syracuse is big because most of the areas around here are bumfuck ass like rural areas or suburbs. So
y'all area, Syracuse, New York is like the size of like one of our suburbs in Chicago.
That's what I mean.
Outside of Chicago, it's not.
It's not even comparable.
Small area,
which
is nice. Don't get me wrong.
It's not. It's got its perks.
I hate the city, dude. I'm so tired of this shit.
I don't doubt it, man. The peace and quiet is kind of like when I
nice,
get a new
bro.
house, dog, middle of nowhere for sure. But
I just don't want to be like too far away
oh
from the
yeah,
city.
dude.
Like
Like I don't want
want
to be 30 minutes away from the nearest Walmart. Like give me like 10 to 15.
That's my feeling. Like I love things about the city, like like late night food places, like close by, walking distance, not having to drive and stuff like that. Like I like all that stuff, but then the noise, and then the also certain people, like there's just people with bad attitudes and just shitty people and stuff
Like
like
that's
that.
a
I'll
It's
say
just
here
serious
for
thing.
Boston here, the shit that goes on here is way worse than Chicago. Like I'm sure the crime is probably worse in Chicago, but like the amount of just domestic shit that I hear outside my window here in Boston is
really
so fucking
where
bad. And
where
bro,
in
it's
Boston
just
are
like
you?
I'm in fucking Dorchester, where Mark Wahlberg's like from. Nigga,
Wait,
like
holy
the
shit!
amount of violence.
Wait. I think I'm almost 100% positive that's where we stay. We stayed in that exact like neighborhood or whatever for that bachelor party that I went to. We stayed in an Airbnb there, so I know that area well.
Yeah.
But Boston, one thing I noticed is that Uber drivers do not give a fuck.
Roads
Hell
are
no.
narrow.
The roads are shit. These are the worst roads I've ever experienced in this entire country, and I've been all over this country. This place
Big
is
facts.
fucking awful. Like, don't get me wrong, the food and culture here is amazing. Like,
I'm
I've
sure. I
never
don't
seen
doubt that.
Food is so
this
good down in
many.
Boston.
Like, Boston is really the melting pot, like, of America. Like, this place, like, everything is here, and it's fucking insane. Like, I've never seen like certain races here that I've seen like in Chicago or California. Like, I've never seen these type of people here, and I'm just like, holy
Very
shit! And you guys,
predominant areas.
and they all live together. Like in Chicago, like there's a bunch of different races, but they kind of have their own neighborhoods, and everyone's kind of spread out and lives. Here, motherfucker, like Vietnamese lady, Dominican guy, fucking just generic white woman, like they all live in the same apartment, dude. Like it's fucking insane. And then like I'll go outside, bro. I'll see like the blackest dude in the world, and I'll see a group of Asians, and I'll just see like this black dude speaking fluent Vietnamese with them, and I'm like, hello, where am I right now?
Yeah,
What is happening?
That's kind of fire though.
that is a new thing nowadays, that a lot of people are being able to speak multiple languages and stuff like that. So it's even though we were told that as kids not to judge a book by its cover, that's mostly what people do, and most of the
You
time
can't no more, bro. You never know. Like you go to this
Like,
black dude, you think he's like an American. Whole time he's Dominican. He speaks only Spanish.
and he's a
Or you
woman.
go to this black dude and he like speaks fucking just Chinese, and you're like, hello. And he's a woman. He's
Yeah,
not even a
like-
dude. He's
a
a woman.
complete fucking switch up. Oh
You
my.
don't know anymore. But they say like by 2050 we're all gonna be like fucking mixed pretty much. And I mean they're not wrong. Like my kids are on course where they're all fucking mixed kids. Like who fucking knows, dude? You guys might marry an Asian woman in fucking 20 years. You don't even know.
No, it is crazy. I feel like interculture stuff. It's just becoming, because the world's so accessible now. Like literally at your fingertip and right down the street. Like it's easy to have access to all these different cultures.
Yep. And I mean it's a good thing.
It
Like
is for sure. I think it brings the world
because-
closer together.
it brings the world closer together, and also you start to see like if you go to talk to a lot of these people, like I work with a lot of Vietnamese and Chinese people, like in Vietnam a lot of their culture is French culture, and there's also like mixtures in Chinese culture with African culture, and there's just a lot of, throughout history you start to realize that a lot of cultures intermingled and mixed and came in contact and shared certain
Sure.
things with each other, and then you can go back and trace all that and be like, holy shit, like that influence has always been there from like 1,000 years ago, and we didn't even know it. We just thought everybody was separate people. We're not. Like we all have a common ancestor. We all come from the same roots. Everyone just migrated and went their own separate ways and have their own like experiences and cultures and
Well, I think
everything.
I think that people forget too that like America literally was built
to be a melting pot.
on immigration. So of course
Yeah.
you're gonna have all these cultures coming together.
It's just the whole fucking point. And like Massachusetts is literally ground zero, isn't this where like Plymouth Rock and they first landed? So it makes sense. But that's the whole point of American people like to forget that, especially in rural America.
Yep.
I'll speak on rural America because I've spent a lot of time around rural America recently. They're so fucking ignorant, and there's so much racism going on in those fucking areas. You don't really see that in the city. The racism you see in the city, it's not genuine racism, I'll give you that. A lot of the time it's just like, I fucking hate everybody because I'm in the city.
Yeah, life's
And I just, like,
miserable, and I'm gonna
can't
take it
stand
out
your
on the
black
world.
ass. Like, you motherfuckers are loud. I'm tired. I'm annoyed. My job just got laid off. Like, there's just a lot of shit going on. But
My
in,
wife
like,
just
rural
fucked
areas,
5 dudes that look just like
Yeah.
you.
Exactly. And then in rural America, it's completely different, where it's just like, well, we have never really encountered much of any other culture besides what we're used to. All we know is what we see off the internet. But the thing is, you can't go off the internet because,
Sure.
there's propaganda, there's like
Yep.
bullshit. It's not real. It's not a real place.
Do
People
you
like
believe the
live in fear.
theory that like the government wants us to hate each other? Like they don't
It's
want
not even
unity because it's a threat to their like power.
it's not a fucking theory, dude. It's a fact, bro. Like they show you. I'll say it this way: go look at your algorithm on your phone. Go look at your wife's algorithm on her phone. You guys are seeing two different fucking Instagrams. You guys aren't even being pitched the same shit. Unless you guys are spending a lot of time, you guys are super similar, talk about the same shit. 9 times out of 10, you guys have two different feeds. You guys get two different things of news, like the Israel-Palestine shit. Some people didn't see that. A lot of people don't know anything about that, and then there's
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
don't get
people who
anything
know a
on
lot
that.
about that and seen a lot about that shit.
I get a lot
They're
of pop
pitching
culture shit. Like,
exactly. They show a lot of different things to different people, and they don't show a lot of things to different people. Like for women, they don't show women specific things because they don't want them to be in those spaces, and they don't even like algorithm. People think with the algorithm, it's just the things that you like. It is not just the things you like.
it's
They
everything.
take your
It's your
data, they
demographic
know
in
your
total.
age demographic, they know your race, they know where you live, they know what kind of man you are based on the things you do like. And then they show you things to either get an emotion out of you, make you upset, make you uncomfortable, make you, you know what
The
I'm saying,
reaction.
think it's a whole like, bro, they know what the fuck they're doing. They know how to manage their population. They've been doing this shit for a millennia. Like they know
Yeah.
how to manage population of people.
Look
You
at all
think
the
they got
secret
this far?
government projects to like see
Yeah,
what they
bro.
can actually. Seen a theory the other day that was actually fucking. I mean, I was high as balls, but like I watched it, fucking blew my mind, dog. Like that apparently, so like the theory where like I can't remember the name of it now, but it's like you remember something. So everybody gets together and they say we remember the fruit of the loom. Everybody swears that there was a cornucopia. The
Mandela
Mandela
effect.
effect. Yeah. My brain fucking died there for a minute, but
Parents
we're
team
back now.
fair.
But yeah, like I seen a theory that the Mandela effect is actually almost like a government test to see how far they can actually convince people and like erase history without people
Mhm.
really realizing it. Because I guess there was a video where this girl proved that there was a cornucopia and like the company went back on it and they were like no, there was never a cornucopia. They shaved
Mhm.
all they shared all these different photos of their logo through the years, but then once this girl proved it, they actually like released a document that was like, oh no, there was like there's specific document in our company
Yeah.
regarding it.
Of course, I mean, the thing that annoys me about a lot of, I'll say Americans specifically, can't speak on the rest of the world because I know they have their own
Everything's different.
situations, but like
Everything's different.
we have a central intelligence agency that literally does a
Shady
lot of
shit.
really fucked things, and then they
Shady
make
shit.
documents and they release it to us for us to read it, and then people are like, no, government wouldn't do that.
Years later.
Yeah, they do it years
KX,
later.
all that shit. Years later
But
after it's
people
already said
still
and done.
deny like the extent of our government and how intelligent they are. It's called a
Nah.
central intelligence agency.
Yeah,
Their whole
literally,
thing
that's
is
what they
diving
do.
in the psyche of humanity and figuring out what makes you tick, how to move you, how to control you, how to figure out what you're gonna do before you even do it, because they have to do it to read terrorists as well, not even just
Yeah,
to
like
fuck
it's
with us.
a
Like
defense thing, but it's also like a government power thing. Like they need to
exactly.
know what they can do and what they can't do without the American public figuring.
But it's a defense thing, like you said. It's defending against terrorists, and they're defending themselves against the American people, because you got to realize we're two different entities. We're not the same. We have a whole thing in our constitution about overthrowing the government. The government is their own entity. They need to defend themselves from everything, including us, the American people. People keep forgetting that. They're not on your side. They will help you as much as they can because you help them. It's kind of a symbolic relationship.
It's a symbiotic deal.
So
Can't have one
Not
without the
symbolic.
other.
Man.
I have
Exactly.
a theory that like there's like they like to keep like a so this is gonna I don't know how you feel about like the whole extraterrestrial thing and stuff like that, but it's gonna go into that. But it's the same thing with like how I don't know if you guys know who Bob Lazar is, but like how back in the day he came out and said Element 115 existed and stuff like that. Same thing that made the Call of Duty zombies that we all know and love. But which is crazy actually. Just let's put that in perspective. The craziness is that that was in a video game that was universally loved by many people, and we all knew about it, and we didn't know it was an actual real thing. But it's the same thing with that. But now, like what 10 or 15 years ago now, they admitted that it's now on our periodic table and stuff like that. So like I have a theory that they have like a distance of like 30 to 40 years of like that, like where we think technology is add 40 years.
They are fucking
like that's where
way ahead,
actually,
dog. What you see in the public is not what they got going on for real behind
Fuck
the
no.
scenes. They got shit that would probably blow your fucking mind.
I guarantee the AI that we have right now, they've probably been fucking with this type of shit for like over
Bruh.
10 years.
Minute, dog. And we're just getting a
Guaranteed.
watered down version, but they got
well, I
shit
mean,
that's probably fucking
Google itself
also the
is
wall
an
crazy.
AI engine. It was originally built, I think, in the mindset of going towards AI. I think that was their whole thought to begin with.
I mean,
was
people
like,
in the tech
use
industry
this.
are notoriously forward thinkers, so I wouldn't doubt that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, look at what is it? I forgot what they called them. I think it was like the something mafia or whatever, but it was the house that Elon Musk was in or whatever. But like literally almost every single person in there is like a billionaire that is like part of a multi-billion-dollar industry that's just astronomically huge now, when they all started with PayPal originally and shit like that. It's just like the amount of like forward thinking that comes with that shit.
Not to, because the tech industry is so crazy. But speaking about tech and shit, Nevvaro, I know you love to play games, dog. What you been playing these days?
Man, y'all gonna roast me for this shit because I know everybody hates it, but I still be playing a little bit of Starfield, not gonna lie.
Dog, I literally am on the same wave as you. For the past 2 weeks, Devin's been roasting me about this shit because I've been doing nothing but rocking Starfield.
I just love it. Like, no matter what, like, no matter how much Bethesda disappoints me, bro.
That game actually ain't that bad, though. I think it got a lot of hate. Maybe it wasn't exactly what they promised, but if you can get past the loading screens and shit, like, it's really not that bad.
And they got mods to even get past that. Like, did you see that? Like, what was like the
now that they got the mod
where now you just go in hyperspace, bro? It's so clean. I'm like, all right, bro.
It's not even bad. Have you? How many times have you gone through the Unity?
Shit, probably like 4.
Nice. I'm on my second
like 2
now.
characters.
Hell yeah. That's what's up.
This one though, I'm not going through the Unity again. The last time I just went to it, I was
You're
like,
making a home. You build an outpost. You getting settled
I'm doing capitalism. Yeah, I'm doing capitalism simulator right now.
Okay, all right. I'll fuck with it. Hell yeah. My next playthrough,
what I can do.
My next playthrough, I'm just gonna be a dirty fucking poor ass pirate, dog. Like I'm just gonna steal ships, fucking shoot who I want, take what I want. Yeah, fuck it.
Hell yeah.
I'm just waiting for.
I was fucking. I did this new playthrough. I did where you have parents.
Yeah, you did the
shit, like,
kid stuff trait.
Yeah, that shit made me so sad. I'm like, damn. They're like talking to me, saying they love me and shit. I'm like, man.
Dude, what's crazy is if you do that twice. Like this? So if you go through the Unity with the kid stuff trait, and then you start your next playthrough. If you still keep the kid stuff trait and you go back to the apartment, you can basically like. Your mom like comes in and she's like, "Oh, I love you, I missed you, and you're gonna do great things." And you literally like get the dialogue option, be like, you say that every time. Like it's actually crazy. Like that perk actually pulls on my heartstrings.
Yeah, those Starborn fucking traits, they're so sick. I wish they had more though. I wish I could be completely meta and just be a god.
Yeah, be like I know what's gonna happen right the fuck now. 2 days from now. In 5 minutes, like this is what's gonna happen,
and that's another thing about Bethesda games too, because like before Starfield came out, I didn't know anything about the plot or what the story was, but they've always had the trope where they make you a god, whether you
whatever or another.
Exactly, they always make you a god, and that's kind of what I love about their games is to just have this powerful thing in me that no one else has. It makes you unique. It makes you feel good. You feel special.
Well, and the crazy thing is with Starfield too, that special thing, it actually isn't just you, because technically anybody can reach the Unity.
100%.
And that's crazy. I actually held off on the ending of that game for like a month. Like I did not know, like until last month, I did not know what the ending of the game was. I was just playing it like a space RPG. And then all of a sudden I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll actually do the main story now. I blew through the main story, went through the Unity, and I was like, oh, this shit's for real.
That shit blew my mind.
I was like, God damn, seeing all the shit that you did, like how it affects the universe you're leaving, like, and then the mix-up of who's dying.
It brought up a good like thought process too, of like thinking about multiverses and crossing dimensions and then losing your humanity like Scorpion. Like you really do lose it. And like the way Scorpion looks at like
same.
Isn't
life and the outlook on it, it's like you kind of see it as the player.
It's like doing like kind of like the same thing called
probably.
Fuck, it's called there's a show for everything if you dig deep enough.
Well, like it has to do with the multiverse and like I think it's called like the Black Box or something like that. But like this dude basically like creates it and then he goes into like his alternate worlds or whatever and like screws like his other self, but technically his wife and like
goddamn.
Yeah, it like a bunch of shit happens, stuff like that. I've heard really good things about it. I've never watched it or whatever. But
This
I'm always
shit took a
into
turn.
crazy shit like
This
that
is
because
crazy.
so Mark was also telling me that you're into anime and stuff like that.
Not as much as I'd like to be.
Okay,
Like I've
so
been watching Jujutsu Kaisen recently though.
Jujutsu Kaisen's dope. I went to go see the what was it, Zero in the theaters, but when we bought our tickets, we bought dub tickets, right? And then we went to the theater, and then we were sitting there, and the movie starts or whatever, and all of a sudden it subs, and I'm like, whoa, 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 what the fuck? No, 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 no. So I get up and I'm like not the only person noticing. Like I'm not crazy. We're not in the wrong theater. And so I go to the person and I tell them, and they're like, "Yeah, we had an issue. We didn't get the dub sent to us, so we can only play the sub. If you want, you
What?
can stay and watch, or you can leave, and we'll refund you the ticket, or we'll give you a free pass for next time or whatever." I was like, "Just give me the free pass." I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, but because like there's certain animes where you can push past the dub and stuff like that and watch the sub because they're so good and
Some
stuff like
people
that. But
prefer
then
the sub. I think anime is such a big genre that like everybody enjoys it a different way.
With me, I don't mind in general because I can read pretty fast, and I'm not
You're
gonna
not
lie.
missing much.
Even if it's in English, I'm still gonna watch it with subtitles.
well, there's certain animes though where like if you listen to the dub and then you read the sub, it's much different in what they're saying.
It is.
Like
That's true
that's
too.
one thing too that I've noticed in like certain ones. That's why I have to like watch the dub because I'm just like that's not how he would actually say that. That's there he says it differently. But the reason I ask is because I assumed that like some of anime and stuff like that came into like your like artwork and stuff like that. Like you got some inspiration from that and stuff. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay.
I had some phases where I grew up on anime, like a lot of the fringe ones, a lot of the indie ones. I would say like Desert Punk that people really didn't give a shit about. Like some of the ones that had like one
Yo,
season.
nobody knows
You wanna know my
about fucking
favorite?
Desert Punk, yo.
I loved that one.
That one has one of the most interesting like what do you call it? Like beginning like intro like theme song
Mhm.
scenes or whatever because it looks realistic.
Mhm.
And also the dude's voice on it for the dub is just as killer.
Hilarious.
And but yeah, I've watched that. Oh, I've watched some of it. I haven't watched all of it, but I've watched Hunter x
What's all your
Hunter.
favorite animes?
My
Number ones.
number it's gonna have to be My Hero Academia
Yo,
Okay.
I fucking love My Hero.
because right now like it's got me like crying right now with what's
My
going
Hero's
on in the
good.
show.
Mine's kind of a cliche because it's
I gotta
like
finish that.
everybody knows it is obviously it's Dragon Ball, like, but not Dragon Ball Z. Like I fuck with Dragon Ball Z, don't get me wrong, but actually the original Dragon Ball anime is what I fuck with the most. I love it. Super's alright, GT's is GT,
Like the one that
but
used to be on WD back in the
like
day.
the first ever Dragon Ball series, not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Z Kai. I'm talking original
Original
old
Dragon
ass
Ball.
Dragon Ball, like Kid Goku, the whole nine. Dog.
Is that the one where like
That's where I
one of the
started.
beginning episodes is Goku telling the girl that her panties are stinky? Is that from that
Yeah,
one?
something like that.
One of
where he's
those,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Patting on her back.
Yo, they were savage of that shit, dude.
Dude, like the first episode, dude, they're just showing like straight up nude Kid Goku, and I like, but you know what? It's hard,
Taking
like
balls
yeah,
everywhere.
literally. But I don't know. I find that I like the character progression because you really see Goku as like this infant that doesn't know like anything, dude. He grew up in the
This
woods
little
with his
alien.
grandpa, like doesn't even know what a woman is, and then you see his progression, and then you hop into Dragon Ball Z, and everything makes more sense, dog. Like his when he acts dumb or like doesn't know something stupid simple or acts like an airhead, it adds so much more to it because then you're like, oh, this shit makes sense. He's still kind of like a kid at heart, and this is why.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah, I
why
don't know. I
fuck
don't
with it.
understand people who fucking like skip into the next. Like, bro, you got to start at the beginning. If
To
you're
be
gonna do anything.
fair, I think people our age, we grew up watching like Toonami, Dragon Ball Z Kai, that shit was on. Like, so I think that
Yeah.
that's where like the original Dragon Ball kind of gets shelved and forgotten about because me, you, like people our age, they grew up on Dragon Ball Z Kai. That's what they know. When you say Dragon Ball, that's what they think of.
Yeah.
Was when Dragon Ball came out? Wasn't that was before what do you call it? DVDs came out, right? So
And it was old. I think it was like
so
1980.
that's
something.
probably another thing that killed it too. Is that there was like video
it was
sets that you
before
could
our
get of the
time.
other ones, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
that really helped
Before our
the
time.
other ones.
Before like all the streaming services, older animes like that, it's hard. It was. I feel like it was hard to find. Maybe I feel that way just because I was a kid. I didn't have the access to things that I have now. But like, I feel
So
like you just didn't have the platform for that stuff.
So one anime that I'll say well, actually two that I would say are very close to number one, depending on how the rest of the series goes and stuff like that. One only has one season, the other one was just one season.
Boku
So
no Pico.
no. Do you know
You
the
know what that is?
anime Doraro?
Doraro. That sounds familiar.
So it's about like this kid who's born during like the Sengoku period, but he is born without any skin, limbs, eyes, like literally nothing. Like everything that a person has that makes him a person, he's born without it because they sacrifice all of his things to like demons or something like that. I forgot what his family did or whatever.
Fuck?
But
What the fuck do you be watching?
the whole series is him fighting back and killing these demons that are basically symbolic of like his body parts. So every time he kills like a certain monster or whatever, he gets a part of him back or whatever. And it's about like him building himself back up to like full potential or whatever. But that's a low key, really good one. And then the other one,
You go.
shit, I'll think of it later. But anyway,
Japan stays fighting demons. Not gonna lie, like everything I've been seeing recently, just fighting demons.
Dude, have you seen the trailer for that new game, like Black Myth Wukong?
yes, dude, bro, the mechanics and that alone,
You
just
know-
like in the desert and sand, like them.
The reason
They're already saying he's
Insane.
stronger than Kratos and Superman.
Yeah, well, the reason I bring it up is because back to Dragon Ball, that is actually the story that Dragon Ball is based off of.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah, that
You
makes
even
sense.
see it in like the trailer. He's riding on basically flying Nimbus.
The cloud, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I remember the first time I even heard of the Monkey King was from I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie Forbidden Kingdom with Jackie Chan and Jet Li. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yo,
dude.
Speaking of Jackie
I grew
Chan,
up on all those.
I gotta hit the pause button real quick because this just popped in my head. Do y'all remember that? Like, I vaguely remember like an animated Jackie Chan show on like I think
Yes.
Disney or some shit.
Yeah, it was Jackie
Like,
Chan Adventures.
There was like trading cards or some shit you could get. Like, there's all kinds of merch for it. Yeah, I remember that shit.
Probably, yeah.
I remember
Fucking wild.
I remember they came out with like a Burger King or like McDonald's like Happy Meal toy around it and
Yeah,
stuff like
dude.
that.
I gotta figure out a way to rewatch that shit.
Oh, I'll be honest. I tried watching it again. It's better in memory. I will say that, but like it's good for what it is and stuff. You know, like
I have to go watch some shows after this. Catch up.
But let's finish back on music. One thing I wanted to ask because we've been talking about your previous stuff and everything like that. But so what's going on with you now with music? Like because Mark was saying that you're part of a band now or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, I started my own thing.
So you started your own like label or own band?
My own band.
Okay. What's the band called?
Sleeping Under Willows.
And how did you come to meet like your bandmates?
Well, I met my boy Matt, actually from out here in Boston. He used to play for Mayday Parade on tour back in the day.
That's
and
wild.
He had his
I
own
love
band
Mayday
back in the day
Parade.
as well. I just met those guys at Sad Summer Fest it was like a month ago.
That's fucking wild.
They're cool dudes. It's so
What was
crazy.
that like?
I mean, I don't know. Just like everyone's
I mean,
so.
you're probably used to it though, because like you've met a lot of
hit
important, like not important, but like famous musicians, shit like that.
It doesn't really hit the same as it used to. And I was never like really that big into that band specifically, but I did grow up listening to them for a little bit. But no, like they're all cool dudes. They're like older dudes, married and shit, got kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, sick.
What do you have going on musically right now? You got anything coming out? Got anything? What you got going on, man?
I mean, I just dropped like 4 songs the past 2 weeks. I got a big album I'm working on right now, and then I'm just working on just more rock music. I'm supposed to start a metal album with another one of my guys. I don't know what we're gonna release it under or how we're gonna do it, but I want to do some metal shit, some hardcore shit.
How can people find you, man?
Hey, you guys can find me on everything at Nevvaro, Nevvaro on everything. The most recent thing I just dropped was Tuesday. You'll find it on all platforms. There's a song on there called Flesh, and that's really the only one that I would like people to listen to right now and go crazy with that one.
I think I listened to Flash earlier.
We'll put it up here at the end and everything if you want. Just send me the file. We'll make it happen. Yeah. Give Nevvaro a listen. Dude, it's been fun catching up with you. It's been fun. It's been fun hearing about your adventures in the music industry, what you're into, where you're from, all that. Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Nevvaro, it was a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, maybe we'll have you on again in the future, and then we'll be able to get you on screen, and so I can see you in person. And but dude, keep pushing hard with your music and everything, dude. Keep pushing out content and everything like that. Do you push out content on like TikTok and stuff? Can people find you on TikTok for like shorts and stuff like that for your music?
I do have a TikTok up. I haven't really posted much of anything on there, but there will be some stuff on there, I would say, within the coming few weeks, because this week I'm about to do some video stuff for Flesh, actually.
Stay tuned on that.
Yeah, stay tuned on that, everybody. One last thing I wanted to ask you is, does your band have plans to do live performances here in like the coming future?
Absolutely. I wouldn't say there'll be any shows probably until maybe next year. But who knows, we might get lucky and do something.
If you come to CNY, dog, you gotta let us know.
Absolutely, you guys will be fucking backstage and meet everybody.
Sounds good, man. So let's just give a thanks to everybody that's listening and everybody. Also, again, definitely check out our boy Nevvaro and his music. Awesome music. A bunch of different ranges of lyricism all throughout his music and stuff like that.
Whatever you're into, you'll find something you're into.
Absolutely. But
and for all the listeners right now, if you're a musician, don't be afraid to make whatever you want to make. Don't care about the views. Don't care about what's popping right now, what's hot. Be yourself. Speak your truth. Be real. Be true to yourself. Fuck what these other dudes are talking about. Say what's real to you and what's real to your life. It's gonna take you so much further.
Authenticity is the name of the game on that one.
Absolutely, dude. I couldn't have said it better myself, dude. But all right, guys, we're gonna cut it today. But we're gonna have some guests coming up here soon. They're gonna be awesome. I'm not gonna let anything slide yet, but we'll be posting stuff. Yeah, we'll be posting stuff here soon. But this episode will be out Saturday morning, let's say, just to make sure, because we're getting better at our scheduling and stuff like that, guys. You guys stick with us. We're trying here. But we will see you guys next time. And remember, don't kick your sister.
I hope you're complacent.